we live in the best nation in the world, and we can do what we want to do in this nation. I truly believe that, and you're absolutely right about that. We don't get time back. And losing my parents very recent, both my parents. It's funny because before my mom passed away, I posted on Facebook. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to have lunch with her, but I get to have lunch with her, and I went to go see her. On the daily because my dad just passed as well a year before that, I guess, and she passed a day later. I'm like, wow.
Because we get so stressed out in work or at school or in an extracurricular activity and things don't go our way, we let it out on our family, right?
When have you ever seen me upset? Never, Dad. When have I ever seen me yell at somebody? Never. When have you ever seen me honk my horn and do this? Never. So people come up to me sometimes, and it's been a rough month this month, and people come in, parents, and blah, 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 and for whatever reason, the kids, of course, and we just sit down, okay, but let's take care of it. Thank you very much for coming in and letting me know what's going on, and let's fix it.
What I'm also learning as the years go on is just how important communication really is.
We have to have that self-awareness in ourselves. And some people will never get it. Some people will never learn the patience part. It's unfortunate because they're stuck in their ways, and there's my ways away, and they never learn.
Have you ever seen a kid walking shy and unsure? Then a few weeks later, they're standing tall and full of confidence. That's the power of belief, structure, and community. Welcome back to the InCity HotSpots Biz Champs Rising Stars podcast, where purpose meets action. Today, we're joined by Raul Sosa, owner, CEO of Kuksu One Martial Arts, who's not just teaching martial arts, but shaping lives through discipline, respect, and family values. This is about more than self-defense. It's about giving every child a place to grow. Let's dive right in. And if this mission speaks to you, subscribe to our channel, share this episode, and help us keep the movement going. Raul, what inspired you to start Kuksu One Martial Arts Academy, and why here in Brownsville?
Uh, I started martial arts when I was a very young age, at 5 years old. I went to college after high school, and I did very well. I did a semester at school, and I didn't really feel that it was right for me at the time. So then I went to my instructor in Houston. I trained there for like a year or so. And speaking to my dad, he wanted to open a business to do martial arts because I was between what I wanted to do in life. You're 18, 19 years old, just like my son is today. And but he knows he wants to be a chef. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just wanted to see what I could put my hands into. And I was able to go into the martial arts part of it again, and I really enjoyed it. And I asked myself a question. This was 1995, and I'm like, "Am I going to do this for the rest of my life?" And the answer was no at the time. And here we are, 30 some years later, and I'm still doing what I love to do. And I've never worked a day in my life, so it's good in Brownsville. My family is here from Brownsville. Mom and dad were here. I didn't want to leave too far for them because I really believe in a close in family, and I believe in family unity. That's reason I chose this career as well, to have my children be around me most of the time, and running around here in their diapers when they were younger. Now they're older, and they help me teach the classes and get that experience of business and speaking to people and help people daily with their children's lives and so on and so forth.
I like the story. And that's kind of on the mission that we're into. What you said a little bit, touch base, is that your family is still connected with everything that you do, right? So you get to spend, you're running your business, which does take a lot of time away from, but could potentially take away a lot of time from family, but you were able to incorporate your family into this. So it's a win-win, right? It's a win-win. You get to spend that father-son time, like you said. And I believe your significant other also, it gets to spend a lot of time with you, very involved. So that's kind of the route that we're going, that I wanted to do too. Okay, well, I know I want to launch InCity HotSpots, but I want to do something that it's not going to take me away from my home. So I'm able to incorporate my little ones with me. My wife is around the same time. So there's nothing but that's why I I drew a little bit closer to you too when I saw your mission. I've known you for a while, and I'm like, his family's always around, and I like that. It's very impactful, and we're never gonna get time back.
That's about right. I had privilege to go into the Border Patrol Academy in 2002 because I was still a little bit young and still running the business. I had no children at the time. But when I went up there, I was training in South Carolina, and I'm like, "Oh, I missed my school," because it was still running with one of my partners at the time. And I was praying and asking God for questions, and I was asking for answers, more or less. What do I do with my life? I miss my classes. I miss my kids. I miss what I used to do. And I had several questions for myself. Do I want to work shift work? The answer was no. Do I want to be away from my family? The answer was no. Do I want to work holidays away from my kids? The answer was no. Mind you, I had no kids yet. And I think like 2 days later, I dislocated my shoulder doing one of the drills, doing the red man stuff. And that was my answer. I was like, hey, I came back, got surgery. They asked you, will you come back? I like, no, I think I'm good. I'll stay here and really pursue the martial arts business part of it. I had the passion to teach, but there was a lot of trial and error throughout the years of being able to be successful as we are today. I didn't have any mentors at the time. I didn't have anybody to guide me in the business part of it. The martial art was great, teaching was great, but the business part was the hardest part that I want to share with my family, with my kids, and all the people who are here in my school as well. In case I want to open a business as a martial art business or any business, because it runs every which way with the leadership skills and the patience and persistence that we work through here in martial arts.
That's interesting. Very relatable story. You spoke about Border Patrol, right? When I was in college, I went through, I guess, the same path. I was almost done with my criminal justice career, and I have a relative that was a Border Patrol agent. That's when they were hiring Border Patrol agents like crazy during the George Bush Jr. Years, 2004, 2005, 2006, right? So I saw my family member who was a Border Patrol agent. I saw him live the life of a Border Patrol, and it was work, what, shift work, like you said. It was 10, 12-hour days, and then he's exhausted at the end of the day. He comes home, goes to sleep, and wakes up and goes back to work and comes home. And yeah, I was like, man, is that how I want to live my life? Later on down the road, I was almost done with that criminal justice degree. And same thing, I was like, man, even before I went into it, I was like, once I get married, I was young, I was 23, 24. I was like, once I get married, I want to be able to spend time at home, right? Once I have kids later on down the road, I want to be able to spend time with the kids. And education was the route. Thankfully, I was able to change the majority of my criminal justice credits into electives, and I didn't have to start all over again, right? So I was just able to finish, and here we are now. And do I regret the decision? No, I don't. It's We're never gonna get time back. Is one thing I've learned and I'm learning, right? And there's different ways of having fun. Another thing too that I was like, man, I love to officiate basketball. Am I not going to be able to officiate? Am I not able going to be able to travel? And there's so many, but throughout the years is how you balance your life. Have a lot of friends that are Border Patrol agents, that are customs agents, and they have found a balance and they've been able to structure their life certainly, right? Some of them referee with us and stuff like that. So you pick and choose what you want. Thankfully, we have the option in the United States to do what we want when we want. And it's just a decision, very relatable decision. I wasn't aware that was part of your journey as well.
We live in the best nation in the world, and we can do what we want to do in this nation. I truly believe that, and you're absolutely right about that. We don't get time back. And losing my parents very recent, both my parents, it made more sense. That, you know what, I made the right choice. I never left their side. I was always there. I took them vacations. I took them here and there, and I spend most of the time I can. And most people don't get that chance because they're always working. They're always busy. I'll go tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. I don't know if I lost you there. Okay, so tomorrow never comes, and by the time it's really funny because before my mom passed away, I posted on Facebook. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to have lunch with her, but I get to have lunch with her, and I went to go see her. On the daily because my dad just passed as well a year before that, I guess, and she passed a day later. I'm like, wow, So there was no regrets on my part. I loved her to the fullest, and we did what we could, and God's plan is never wrong, and it was good that I was able to do everything I could and I never worked a day in my life. I just got out of the gym right now, and I think a couple years back, somebody asked me, "So, Raul, are you still doing the karate thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm still doing the karate thing." And they're like, "Wow, so what do you work?" I'm like, "Oh, bro, I really don't work. I've never worked a day in my life." And he's looking kind of crazy, like, "Huh, what?" Yeah, so yeah, I'm always here, I'm always there. After I'm able to have the time that I have, but when I work, and as successful as we are, thank God we've been blessed to learn and drive and never give up. The persistence part of it of life. It's a lot of people would have given up a long time ago. It's not for everybody, and so but we're blessed that we're here doing the same thing, doing what we love to do.
That's awesome. Those are great life lessons, not only for kids, right, the youth, but also for us adults, right? Do you love what you do? If you don't, you can change it. If you do, it's not considered work, right? Say I've been officiating, for example. I've been teaching kids 15, 16, 17 years, and you do get tired of it at the end of the day, but it's not really work. It's not stressful. It's just, it's like anything. The more you practice, the more years you do it, the easier it gets to a certain extent, right? It's just with experience, things do get easier, right? With repetition, things do get easier. And I'm pretty sure when you started everything, your karate martial arts academy, it wasn't easy at the beginning. But as you've been doing it, how many years already?
I started practicing when I was 5. I'm 50 at 45 years ago.
45 years ago.
The business that we started was I was 19 when my dad helped me open my first business. I
Wow.
praised my dad a lot for that reason. He was always there with me when I was younger training, and some people say, "Oh, I was my daddy's boy." I'm like, you know what? That's the best title I could ever get because my dad was always there.
Yeah.
A lot of parents aren't there with their kids, and my dad was there, and he was very fortunate. But it took me years to realize why he was always there. It was because my mom was always working the business we had, and she made it happen as well for him to be able to take me where I had to go, and her being the rock of the family. I didn't realize till later because I love my dad. He's always with me. He's always doing things. My mom was never around, but as you get older, you realize why. She was there. She was strong. She worked our business from 7 in the morning till 10, 11 at night every day for the past 35 years, and you get to appreciate that and the family you have, and you hopefully teach the next generation of being appreciative for your parents, of being appreciative for what you have, or even what you don't have. And it goes. It's been a blessed life, and I'm really truly blessed to do what I love and teaching children. I consider our martial art is more of a character development martial art system with a self-defense twist in it because I really want to teach the kids patience, perseverance, and practice. Sometimes we make the worst mistakes when we lack patience. We get impatient. We start doing things because we think we can't think, and boom, there you make a mistake in life by not being patient. So patience is very key in what we do, and I want to instill that in the children. Perseverance, never give up. Obviously, I always keep going forward. This generation is very eager to get everything quick because of the instant gratification. The Instagram, the Facebook, everybody has a beautiful life in their eyes, and we want to teach them that that's not accurate, and everybody's going through something, and everybody's going to have to work through it to get on the other side of of whatever it is. And then you practice what you do. Make sure you learn what you know and go forward 100%. And everything should work together and in harmony. We consider that you one WOD, together, fluid, and togetherness, together, fluid, and connectiveness. That's what we call that in martial arts. You one WOD. That's where we practice our techniques and all this good stuff as well. But it goes in life as well.
That's interesting. I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn today as a citizen, right, in Brownsville, and you're the martial arts expert. And questions that I'm asking you today are questions that other people throughout the community would like to know, and your story a little bit, and it's very interesting. Now, let me ask you this: when you look back at your journey, was there a moment that made you say, like, "This is bigger than just martial arts"?
Yes, yes. I I think probably it hit me maybe 15, 12 years ago. It hit me right in the face. Like, you know what? We're doing a great thing for the community. We're doing a great thing for the family. I had a family came in here, and the dad was very desperate, and I think they moved away. They moved away up north because he got his doctor's degree, and he had a great job somewhere up north, really really far from here. And he got his doctorate degree, and he came up to me and go, "Master Sosa, I really need help. My son and I were not bonding together, and we're not seeing eye to eye. And I see that it's struggling, and I really want to fix that. So I'm coming to you for your program. Hopefully, we get together and grow together and get to know each other once more again because we're going through that phase in life, and we all do. But if we don't do anything about it, you'll lose it. So we have to be persistent in that and keep at it. And sure enough, he was here for a year before he left, and he was the happiest he could be. He was, "Oh my gosh," so Master said, your program is wonderful." He had tears in his eyes because him and his son started bonding well. And I see him here and there. He'll send me a couple of messages here and there, thanking me still again to this day, 10, 12 years later. And that's why I was noticing, you know what, we're a family martial art. We're not just a martial art about, oh, who's got the best fighters, who's got the best competitors. We're not a competitive martial art. We work on life skills, character development, and bringing family together. Because at the end of the day, you have to love the people that take care of you the most. And I talk to a lot of people sometimes, they go, "Well, I see you treat other strangers better than you do your own family." And I talk to my kids as well. I'm like, "You gotta treat your family better than you do strangers because they're the ones who put up with you. They're the ones who are patient with you, and they're the one who work with you to get where you need to go. And you have to treat your family better." I see a lot of rudeness when the people you're supposed to love the most. And that's where we try to help out with the families here.
Well, I like that. I like that. Very true, right? Sometimes we take it for granted. Maybe we take our family for granted. That there's a lot of truth to that. Sometimes when you spoke about patience a little while ago, and patience, it's hard sometimes, right? And you got to take a deep breath and stop and think before you say something, or stop and think before you do something, right? So a lot of times, because we get so stressed out in work, or at school, or in an extracurricular activity, and things don't go our way, we let it out on our family, right? Well, there's a reason why we created our InCity HotSpots Youth Basketball League, because there was a lot of lack of patience, not only from parents in the stands, from coaches that were coaching the kids, that right. So how many? It was just a very chaotic, tense, toxic environment that I was like, man, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. So thankfully, after we've already completed our first year of trying to figure out, can there be a safer, more fun environment for our kids to learn the game of basketball, the sport of basketball, right? Without parents misbehaving, without anyone saying anything negative. And thankfully, everything's worked out. There is a way. It is possible, right? And a lot of it is with patience. And I've been patient, as I knew that I was going to have to encounter certain obstacles, that people, that maybe coaches were going to want to test the waters, parents were going to want to test the waters and see, is this guy for real? Does he really mean? Is he really going to enforce the rules that he has in his program? And sure enough, right, I've been disciplined enough to stick to it. These are the rules that we're gonna have, and if you don't like it, hey, you can go do something else. Not a problem. There's a lot of we have a waiting list of teams and kids that want to continue playing. But going back to your teaching, right? Patience and discipline. A lot of times those games were very toxic, where a coach was very upset, right? And he do something that wasn't appropriate, and he get ejected from the game. My question is, when they left, did his family have to continue taking some of that negative, behavior, choice of words, and such and such, over a game that was, over a 6-year-old game, was a 8U game, a 10U game. So these these are all things that we can tie together, right? You doing your thing with your martial arts, us doing our thing over here with a different type of sport, right? But at the end of the day, all the life lessons, we can tie them together. That's why I feel that we're on the same path. We're doing things to educate our youth with little things like that, little things, little details, but they're very significant. Patience, discipline, structure, right? Repetition, stuff like that. But
Repetition is the mother of all learning. You got have repetition. Yeah, on that note, and the patience part, and we try and instill the kids to be more patient with themselves first and foremost, because they're so, like I said, instant gratification. They get frustrated. I can't get this. I can't get that. I can't get this, and they get frustrated, so they easily quit, or they lash out, or they get upset. So that's the part that we come in, and we first we praise them. Hey, that's a really good job. Well, we could fix this, and they fix it, and then we praise them again. Good job, high five. Let's go. Let's keep going forward. It's very important, and because you're changing generations, or you're not just changing the little child right now. You're going to change his family structure. You're going to break that cycle. If their parents are impatient, they're mean with them, or whatever the case may be, they will be better after this training when they get older. Okay, you know what? They're patient with themselves. That means they can breathe easier. They can think things through. So when they have their own family, they'll lead them the same way. And that's how I try to teach my children as well. I'd tell my kids, when have you ever seen me upset? I never, Dad. When have I ever seen me yell at somebody? Never. When have you ever seen me honk my horn and do this? Never. So people come up to me sometimes, and it's been a rough month this month. And people come in, parents, and blah, blah, blah. And for whatever reason, the kids, of course. And we just sit down, okay, but let's get care of it. Thank you very much for coming in and letting me know what's going on, and let's fix it. And they're like, "Hey, wait a minute. we're not yelling back. I go, I don't need to nobody. I could do this all day long. I could listen to you, but something else got to trigger that. It's not necessarily the moment or whatever. Something back. We just the sometimes a straw that broke the camel's back. And hey, we're here for that, and we're listening. Of course, we're not going to be abused by it, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Let's get work together to get better. That's all I say, and we move forward. I'm not going to yell at you. You think I'm doing a poor job? You know what? Thank you for letting me know. I will fix it and I will do better because there's always room for improvement. You can't say, "Oh, I do my best." And I caught myself last time, like, "No, I do." I go, "You know what? I thought about it. You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm not as good as I think I'm doing in there." And hey, we're human. Sometimes we have things in our head, blah blah blah. No excuses. But I go, "You're right, sir. I think you're absolutely right. I think I should do better in there." And he was like dumbfounded, like, what?" I know. You brought it to my attention. Boom! I pick it up. Let's go fast. Let's do better, and we just learn from it as well. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to speak well. Parents yell. I don't yell. We're patient because of the martial arts part of it. Don't get me wrong. When I was younger, yeah, I was a little impatient at first, but with time and coming together, we learn how to respond better, not react, respond. You don't want to react. Somebody hits you, hit them back. That's a response. I mean, that's a reaction. You usually want to respond well. You listen, you do, and then you can process everything as quick as you can and respond to the situation the best way you can.
I agree. Everything you just said is comes with experience, right? In my younger days as well, I was quick to react. Now I listen. I've learned how to listen, and there's what I'm also learning as the years go on is just how important communication really is. Learning how to communicate, learning how to listen. Because, for example, your expertise is in karate. My not expertise is in high school basketball officiating. I've been doing it for 23 years already, right? But the same thing. You have 10 situations. You have tense people that overreact, coaches overreact, fans overreact, players overreact. And comparing it from when I started, now 23 years later, I listen first. I don't overreact second. But now, because of the experience of us doing it for so long, of practicing and practicing and practicing, it's a lot easier for us to communicate, for example, the rules of the game or the rules, what's within the rule books. Hey, coach, okay, relax. But by rule, this and this happened, right? I know you're upset, but I'm not going to communicate to you until you bring it down. Okay, what do you mean by that? Well, and I'll take off and the game will continue going. I'll come back when you're ready to talk, coach, right? For example. So when okay, Sergio, I've calmed down already. What is it? I go, okay, coach, you ready to talk? Man to man, respectful person to respectful person. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, what happened? Well, coach, this and this and that happened on this play by rule, this and that. When you go back on film, you're probably going to see, I'm 100% sure that you're going to see exactly what I saw. Right. And at the end of the day, like you said, when you don't react, you're able to diffuse the situation a little bit easier. But that does come with time, right? It does come with time, and that's why I'm pressed for time. In that, I want us to teach this next generation as fast as possible to start not overreacting, right? Sometimes my son also he tends to overreact because maybe he saw that behavior in me a couple years back, right? So it's like you said, are we trying our best? Well, maybe we're trying our best at work, but are we trying our best at home with being a father? Are we trying our best at home being a husband? And sometimes self-reflection is also something that we need to process. That's another teaching point for youth, right? We need to, not only youth, adults too.
I,
A lot of times we say, excuse me, a lot of times we say, well, it's all you. We blame the other person, but we need to take that deep breath and look back and say, okay, well, what is it that I'm doing? Am I doing everything correctly? Am I doing the best that I can? And so on and so on. So that's cool, man. I like it. I like your expertise, your knowledge. It goes hand in hand. It's just life lessons that we can pass on to the kids. Mentorship that you had, right?
Yeah, we have to have that self-awareness in ourselves. And some people will never get it. Some people will never learn the patience part. It's unfortunate because they're stuck in their ways and there's my ways away and they never learn, which is very unfortunate. The generation after COVID, a couple. It seems like it's been forever, but it's been a couple of years. All the kids came in. They were very, very unmotivated. They were very scared. There are all this other stuff. I see it now. This last year, a couple of years now, the kids coming in, they're getting back into the groove, and I think this next generation should be a very good one as well. I mean, but you have to put the hard work. I heard somebody say, "Oh, parenting is easy." I go, "Not if you're a good parent. Parenting is easy. Anybody could be a parent. Anybody could be whatever, but not to be a great parent is not easy at all. It does take a lot of hard work, a lot of patience, a lot of perseverance, a lot of thick skin, and just a lot of back and forth, and just realize that we're not always right as parents either, but we're not always wrong, and we have to communicate well. And I think that's the best thing we could do for our children because we want the best for them. So my son, he's nothing like me. He's very calm. He's he's very passive. My little girls also as well. I'm like, man, we did something right with these kids because these kids are awesome. Well, they're nothing like us when we were younger, like me. I'm all great. So I tell my son, I go, you cook, you clean, you are a martial artist. You got your associate degree already. You got your high school degree. You got all this stuff going for you, and I didn't have that when I was your age. I didn't have an associate's when I was 18. I didn't know how to cook till I was 19. My mom always cooked me. She had that nurturing part of it, and he has everything already up to go, way ahead of me. He teaches the classes, he talks to people, he's very, very polite. I'm like, wow, I started barely getting that maybe my 24, 25 start talking to people, actually have a conversation with an adult. I was always very shy. I was always very shy. I was like, "Oh," even when as a business owner, I was very shy. As a young, I was just a very shy person. My son, he hides it well, he is. And my little girl, she's 16 by the way, and she'll be a junior this year. She's doing amazing right now. She's going to get her permit for driving. She's got her permit, so she's got to do the observation stuff. She's also a blackboard in our school. She helps me in the office. I'm trying to teach her how to be more of a customer service person because I think customer service is one of the hardest thing. I had her at the mall this weekend, and she goes, "Dad, my confidence is crushed." I'm like, "Why?" Because nobody wants to talk to me. Nobody wants to take a flyer. Nobody wants to. I go, "It's hard. The hardest thing to do is make a cold call, talk to somebody, and public speaking. Hardest thing you could do. But you know what? You're practicing now, and you'll get it, and eventually it'll be easy for you to do it. And not a lot of people get those skills. So we love doing that with her as well this weekend.
That's cool. That's wonderful that she's starting young, right? Mentorship. My follow up question right now will be on mentorship, but just going back on uh, how early we learn things or how later on in life we learn things compared to how early some of our own kids are learning things, right? The education system, be working in the education system. My son, he's 9 years old. He'll be turning 10 in about a week. So I came across as a fourth grader some of the he's great. He does very well in school, A on a roll, he good homework habits, stuff like that. But what got me was got to see some of the writing prompts that they were doing at this level, and I was blown away by his classroom teacher, right? Because we have open house, for example, and I'm not able to attend every open house because I'm talking speaking to parents myself, right? So usually my wife goes, but this time I had to go because my wife was sick. So anyways, to make a long story short, they're doing college level writing prompt, right? And they're tying in all this, starting things with a hook and the main idea is tied in there and it's just very complex. And I'm like, man, I didn't start doing this until I was in college. And they're already doing it in fourth grade. But more or less the point is, I think that sometimes we're scared to challenge our youth, not thinking that they're capable of doing such things. And once we test them with a complex challenge, they step up to the plate. They start learning early on. And it's like, okay, well, well, you learned that. Okay, well, let's take it up a notch. Now you can learn this. Let's take it up a notch. Let's go. You spoke about your son and daughter experiencing sales right now at such a young age. She's 16, I believe you said. She's 16 years old, right? And your son is doing, so many more things that you were doing at your age. But it's just a matter of us being able to allow our kids to start learning and experiencing is for the better word, right? Experiencing some of these things and I just tying it all together, the more we challenge, don't be afraid to challenge our youth because they're smart enough to learn.
And they're very resilient.
And they're
They're
very resilient.
Sometimes we don't give them credit. "Ah, pobrecito, no, 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 it's okay." And I see a lot of parents that way, a lot of and, "No, no, no, they can't do it." "What do you mean, no? Let's get him in there, let's get it done." And, "No, no, se va a lastimar," or "He can't do it." I'm like, "Well, hearing you say," and I talk to parents, hearing you say that, you're enabling you're really you're crippling him. He's learning from you, he's listening to you, and they believe it. Yes, yes, I can do it. And then you see it like, "Oh my god," "Come on in, let's get a program." "Well, I don't know." It's really funny because they need it the most, and a lot of parents, they either it's finance or whatever, like, they see the program price that we have in our school, and they're like and they won't take advantage of doing it because for whatever reason, and they need it the most for their children. "I'll do anything for my children." "Okay, let's go." "Oh, I won't do that." Then you won't do everything for your child to succeed. We kid ourselves to being one of the best martial arts character development student the school in the valley, and wherever. And our students, you see my kids out and about, and you see they're my students. You see they're standing up straight, they're listening, they're talking, they're not running around playing, playing a fool. They're doing really good things. Okay, you spot my students, I take pride in that. Not that they're the best fighters, the best martial artists, but they are becoming the better people, and together we become better. And I think humanity is got to go back to that phase of love each other, trust each other, take care of one another, not hurt one another, and learn from each other to, succeed in life and this world that we live in today. And it's a beautiful thing to see. I mean, I'm really excited. I love what I do, and it shows in the mat, and it shows outside with the parents, and yeah. So
Yeah, you spoke about, you compare a little bit of of how kids are, how the youth are making in transition, right? COVID was a while back, but it did take a few years to get that discipline behave for them to behave. Man, it was just a very crazy time, few years, when youth came back into the classroom, and they had been at home for about a year and a half, 2 years, and it was just, man. But I pride myself, like you pride yourself, in classroom management, right? The kids will test the waters, but if you don't allow it, right? I treat my, behind every whistle, every cheer, and every smile on that court, there's something deeper happening. It's not just basketball. It's hope. It's belonging. It's a kid realizing, maybe for the first time ever, that someone believes in them. There was once this little boy. He showed up in borrowed shoes, nervous, quiet, barely looked at anyone in the eye. But a few weeks later, he was high-fiving teammates, cracking jokes, and telling his mom, "I think I want to be a coach one day." That's the magic we see. And that's the mission we're on, to give kids a space where they feel safe, supported, and seen for free. But here's the truth. We can't do this alone. In just our first year of year-round enrichment, InCity HotSpots LLC has saved families $14,175 in league fees and given over 152 hours of free service to our kids in our community. That includes free youth basketball leagues, free referee training, free educational enrichment. And every season, we host free community events with prizes, giveaways, and moments of joy for families who might not have experienced them anywhere else. Those giveaways, the medals, the games under the lights, they all have a cost. But it's local businesses like yours who can help us keep it going. When you sign up for just $50 a month on InCityHotspots.com, you're not just getting a business listing. You're giving a child a chance to feel seen, to play, to grow, to dream. And if you don't own a business, but you know someone who does, a friend, a cousin, a neighbor, please share the link, InCityHotspots.com/support youth. It just takes about 30 seconds and it can make all the difference. We're not asking for a donation. We're offering you a way to stand for something bigger. Help us keep the love alive. Help us keep it free. Join us and let's build this together. Basketball court, like I treat my classroom. If you don't allow it early on, you will be able to bring out the best in your kids, right? Discipline is number one. Without discipline, it took me about 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, and everything was just discipline, discipline. It took a while to get kids because they were just so used to saying whatever they wanted, doing whatever they wanted. It was just classroom teachers were going crazy as well. There was a lot of stories that throughout the state, throughout the nation, how do we gain that discipline back? It took a lot of work, and we needed to stand firm and, okay, let's get back to basics, right? No, you're not going to speak that way. No, you're not going to do that. And we're not going to move forward to the fun stuff until we're able to do step 1, 2, and 3. We can't do step 4, 5, and 6 because we're not ready yet. And it was just reps and reps and reps, and with consistency, and didn't let up. I didn't let up. I didn't let up. And thankfully, uh, comments were coming our way that, coach does have he's not struggling at his campus. He has good classroom management. And it was not just because of me, it was just because of being able to stand firm and continue the discipline. Everything that got us to that point at the very beginning. So if you don't have good discipline, if you don't have good karate academy management, right? Classroom manage your classroom. If you don't have good classroom management there, if I don't have good classroom management on the basketball court with my parents and officials and coaches, then it's hard for us to be successful, and it's hard for it to be safe, and it's hard for it to be fun. So that goes with some of the mentorships that I've had, right? My next question to you, staying there on mentorship, who was that one person or mentor in your life that showed you the power of discipline and purpose through martial arts?
I'd say my dad. My dad was because he was my biggest fan, and him being always there kept me in a good and narrow to do my best I could. That like I said, it was one of those things. My dad was first, and my mom was second. At the end of the day, they were both my mentors to be a better person because you don't want to disappoint your parents in any which way. You don't want to taint their last name. That's the last name that they gave us, and we don't want to ruin that. So we always try to stay in the straight and narrow. We make mistakes in life, of course, but my dad was always there with me, and just by his example, and I get the biggest compliments all the time from my aunts and uncles. My dad goes, "Man, you just like your dad. You treat your kids like your dad, and you always like him. You're always with him and stuff, and you're always." So that's the biggest compliment you could ever give me is like, "Man, you're just like your parents." Like I said, like when I was younger, I had some people, they say, "Oh, who's daddy's boy?" I go, "You know what? Call me that all day, every day, twice on Sunday, because I love that because that's where I am with my children as well, and it's the best thing in the world." And I tell my kids, "I was born to be your dad. I was born to be a dad. I love what I do because of this, and I love to be the parent." And I must, they're, well, yeah, so yeah, so I really my dad and my mom are my best, mentors in life, and then my instructors in martial arts as well, Master Alex and the grandmaster, his father. They're second parents to me as well. They took me in when I went to Houston, and, when I was in college and I said, "Well, what do I want to do in life?" I was doing very well in college, and I came back and I finished the degree plan, like, afterwards. But when I went over there, I was going a little bit, not so great. So I decided to go over there, and they opened their arms for me, and they welcomed me with open arms. And the funny part is that they would tell my dad, "Okay, the grandmaster saw," because he knew me when I was 5, because I started when I was really young. He doesn't even recognize me anymore because he was looking at me now because I was very older. And he tells my dad, "Can you come back in a month?" Or 2 months or something, and I was, "Okay." My dad was there every 2 weeks, he goes see me. Every 2 weeks he was there for a past year. My dad would never stop going to see me. He'd drive, he'd fly, and it was great. We hang out as a father and son, did my mom, but like I said, my mom gave him that privilege to do that because she was always working, and he was able to see me as often as he did, because I think, if it wasn't for him and them, I wouldn't be where what I am today as a parent, as a person in general. Yeah.
That's a that's an amazing story because there's no book of how to be a great father. There's no book of how to be the best father, right? Or a parent. So we just we try our best. We try our best, maybe based on, so how did your dad or who was his mentor is what we can ask later on down the road, right? Somebody had to have instilled in him a little bit of, what is it, how is it that you can be a better father, a better husband, and so on. So there is no book. We have to figure it out somehow, and it's just a matter of maybe what spending the more time we spend together, the closer the relationship. And but it's not only about how to be a good dad; it's how to be a good husband, right? How to be a good brother, how to be a good friend. There's no book that really will tell you how to be the best and how to kind of. It's just through life lessons.
I think my dad's biggest, mentor was his mom, with my grandmother, because my grandpa he was a piece of work, great man, but old time Mexican people, very machismo, you stay home, don't do this. So here and there, a couple of this and that, and I think my dad he grew a little animosity towards him, and I think he became a better parent because of it as well. And I tell everybody, either you you become what you hate, or you go the other way and you become something else that you don't want to be, which is in life. You see people and they, I'm not gonna be like my parents, and the boom, they're just like them. Like, dude, you said you weren't gonna be that way, and you're the same way or worse, and people say, I'm not gonna be that person. Kind of like the saying is, I'm an alcoholic because my dad's an alcoholic, or I'm successful because my dad was an alcoholic. I'm not, so it's one of those things that it's up to the person, and we have to know what we want. And sometimes nature is nurture, and you don't know, and we just gotta try our best. But I was very blessed to have a great grandmother. My dad was really just treat her like a queen, and you could tell the love he had for her. And I think that one transpired to me as a son, and to his wife, which is my mom, and that's going to my kids as well. But it all it's all like you said, it takes, it's a work in progress. It's not easy. We sometimes we make it look easy, but, because our kids think, "Oh, God has everything covered." We do because that's our job to do, but it's not easy sometimes, but we can't show them it's hard because and then they're like, "Oh, it's hard. Nobody can do it." We have to do it and make it look easy. Like, I love doing that.
A lot of people don't see the value of things, right? In the business world, in the personal world, in the sense that when things look easy, for example, you have been doing karate for so many years. When you do it, it looks easy. If I were to walk in and I'm like, I can do that. I can do what Raul does, right? It looks easy, right? But it put me on the mat, and I'm not gonna look as cool as you are, right? Same thing when people think that they can officiate, they're like, oh, well, Sergio makes it look real easy. Anybody can do it. Well, it's not that anybody can do it. It's just that through time and years and experience of, once you hit several decades of doing things after a while, you're gonna get better eventually. You're gonna get better. So go ahead.
It's an overnight success, 30 years in the making.
Yes. I like that, and I agree. I agree 100%. And it's just, it's it goes in every type of industry, every type of industry in the business world and in the personal world too, right? Being a great dad sometimes, or like you said, it took 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and so on. So just very relatable. Going back with, we see confidence growing kids through sports. How does martial arts specifically help a child walk taller and believe in themselves more?
You know what? I've seen a lot of kids that are they're not very. I believe here in our school, the kids that who excel the most are the kids who don't do group sports. For the kid, they don't fit in here, they don't fit in there because nobody sits in the bench. Everybody's doing something all the time. They're not finding a good position. They're working on themselves daily when they come in, and we work with them as well. And through patience, practice, and perseverance, we go through them. We praise, correct them, and praise them, and we put them in the spot. And okay, this we can do that in front of people, and they're able to do that first, not so easily. By the time it, they're running the classes and they're doing this. I'll give you a quick example. I have one of my students. His name is Jade, and I'll say his name, Jade. He's a really good kid. He wouldn't speak to his teachers. He wouldn't speak to his parents. He had a little speech impediment. They brought him in because he wouldn't speak to his teachers. Like, we don't know what to do. We want him to learn. 6 months later, he's doing a talent show in front of 700 kids in his school. A year later, he's going to tournaments with me left and right. He wants to do everything. He's doing all these camps, running class in front, and walks in with such confidence. Sometimes our kids who don't get that is because the parents fail them. They quit before the kids do. And the problem with that is that they're comparing the child to somebody else next to them, who might be a little bit smarter, a bit taller, a little faster, a little more just overall, you know, just better kid in general. The way we say the word better, and they start seeing that, and they kind of like, well, maybe it's not for my son, and they pull them out before they get to see the greatness. And that's the biggest shame that I have in my school, from 1 month to 2 years to 10 years, because obviously everything we learn is daily. It isn't, we keep practicing our lifetime skills in everything we do. The character development and the self defense part of it. But unfortunately, I see a lot of parents, and they compare them to other kids, and that's a problem with I think, I don't know, that happens in basketball and other sports, and it's terrible because you never see the greatness they'll be able to have or the confidence they need. So If you leave the kids, I have one of my students, he's been here for almost 4 years, and he's been slowly going forward. And I praise the parents because he's not the best in the room, but you know what? He has not quit. He's got that perseverance in him, and that's going to go a long way more than these kids who are kicking, fighting, winning tournaments, whatever. That's going to go a longer way because it takes, anything worthwhile takes hard work and dedication. And you'll see that as gets a little bit old.
Yeah, I agree. It does, that is a big problem in, youth life, youth sports, in the sense that the comparing, right? The comparing. A lot of parents, those are toxic environments that are out there, that they are really adamant. They really care about what other people think. They really care about how their son or daughter looks out there, right? At the end of the day, if they really knew that really nobody cares but themselves. It's all a mental thing. Nobody cares. Everyone's just there to see their son or daughter shine, right? And do the best that they can. Sometimes I tell my son too the same. He's like, "Well, Dad, I was playing against such and such and such and such, and this happened and this happened." I'm like, "Okay, man." I go, "Hey, but did you try your best? Did you do the best that you could? Right? That's what matters to me. Did you try your best? If the answer is yes, then I'm okay with that, because it's not about the outcome of the game. It's the life lessons that they're getting out of it, right? Well, maybe I didn't try my best. Maybe I should have worked harder. I care if he tells me no, I didn't try my best. I'm like, okay, well, now I have a problem with that, maybe, right? Not the outcome that you guys lost is, or that you won or you lost. It's, did you try your best? And if you didn't try your best, well, now next time you go, you got to work, you got to strategize now mentally. What is it that worked and what didn't work, and why is, maybe those were some of the reasons why your team lost, right? But if you go back the next time around and you try your best, then I'm okay with that as a dad. That's all that matters. My big goal on this, on our mission with our youth in city hotspots is life lessons, building life lessons for our kids. I don't care who wins the championships in our basketball leagues. I don't care who makes it to the playoffs. I don't care who came in first and second. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that, how many kids can we develop? How many kids can we teach to learn life lessons? Because college isn't like it used to be, right? I came across some data that says that uh, parents spend so much money in the sports world, on select sports and traveling, and they'll spend 200,000, 250,000 at the end of the kid starts off at the age of 5, and they do select sports all the way, and they travel baseball, travel soccer, travel basketball all the way to the age of 18. So the college recruitment of college isn't the same like it used to be. Now, scholarships are a lot less now. Now some of these coaches are being interviewed and they're saying, I don't know if you're familiar with the portal, right, in college, the sports portal, that now kids are able to go choose to pick and choose and change colleges as they please. The game has changed. So now coaches are saying, we're looking for the talent that's inside the portal, not the kids that are coming from high school anymore. We're looking for the kids that are already inside the portal, that are already in college, have D1 scholarships, for example. Those are the kids that we're looking for. So the game has changed already. How much more is the game of scholarships going to change later on down the road, right? The numbers are few, those that do get a scholarship. So my message to the youth is like, hey, don't spend all this time and energy with and resources, financial resources, because it's out of your control sometimes. Control what you can't control, and it goes back to life lessons, right? Discipline. And because when they get into the real world and they do have a job offer that they don't get, or they do go into, or they do get denied a college application that they wanted to get to, well, they're not going to take it. It's not going to be an emotional response. It's going to be okay. I lost early on. These are life lessons that I lost when I was early on in my life, and it's just a loss. And let me submit the next application. Let me submit the next job, my resume to the next job, right? And we could continue firing away. Just because kids lose doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. So going back to comparing, I agree with you 100%. It is a very toxic environment in youth sports. And these are some of the things that we see outside, because you said some of the students that thrive more in your academy are the ones that are not involved in group sports, which is very interesting. That's some good data out there, and I can see that. I can see that. And but even at that, something that's not so much group oriented, there's still a lot of comparison going on. And It's tough. It's tough for the kids, like you said. It's tough to hear that the kids no longer get to participate in martial arts because parents gave up on them too soon. And they were so close. Maybe they were so close from getting over the hump, right? The next session or one more year, they were so close and they gave up on them and there goes
They're a foot away from gold.
they're a foot away.
And like I tell you, to win or we learn, but we never lose because every loss it has something come with it. You learn from it. You never lose. You know, you will learn from it. Like you said, we learn from those experiences. Maybe I didn't work hard enough. I should work hard enough. If I didn't get up early enough, I got to do that as well. So we win or we learn, but we never lose. And I tell the kids that, and they might not get it because nobody wants to lose a match or doesn't want to lose something, but they will get it if they learn something from it. The loss is better than the win sometimes, especially in life.
Yeah, and that's it's the balance that I have as a father, as a coach. I in group sports, a lot of coaches and parents are trying to stack up their teams, right? Let's just get the best teams always so we can continue winning and winning and winning and winning and winning. So these kids are just learning how to win. They're never learning how to lose. So I'm trying to find that balance too as a dad. Sometimes I'm like, okay, son, I'm not gonna put you on the best team. I'm gonna have you work twice as hard and figure it out. How can you be a better leader to your team? How can you make your team stronger? How can you well, you gotta hustle a little bit more. Well, you gotta strategize a little bit more. You gotta pass the ball a little bit more. And he does get down. He would get more down in his early losses, but now it's just like reps, right? The more they lose, the better. And he has his wins too, and they love to win. I get it, but I think there needs to be a balance. I think our growth is really going to come out more from our losses than from our wins, right? Same thing as growing up. We've come across so many wins and we come across so many losses. Uh, it's funny because I don't know what the take is, but when I see parents acting a fool at some of these youth sports, right? We see it on social media all the time throughout the nation. I questioned it. Well, maybe they never got to experience the wins and losses, or as many wins and losses as they should have, and now they're trying to live vicariously through their kid, and want and are using these wins, right? That's what the vicariously means, and using these wins to have self satisfaction. So there's a lot of questions of why do they behave that way? Why do they act that way? Why?
Intentionally harm kids more than do good in that aspect, you know? Well, just for their self satisfaction, like said, that I want to feel better because we won, my kids do the best. And that, yeah, you always have pride in your kids. Yeah, but you have to have that common sense. You're not gonna win all the time. And you're sometimes you see this and they hurt the kids, and by the time you know the kids stop playing. All those years they done, they spend money or invested money on them. Sorry, I didn't mean spend, but they invest money on them, the outside leagues and practices and private lessons and all this and all that. And then you hear all this stuff. The parents are always on them. The kids get burned out, and I see a lot of it in group sports. Oh, he stopped because they got burned out, because they got tired of competing. They got tired of the whole thing. And parents are like, "Why? What do we do now? I spent all this money on you guys, and then you're just done. You just quit." And I'm like, "Wow." And it happens. It happens more often than not. And some very good athletes as well. Here, you know what? Here we do our job, but sometimes we do our job too well that the people quit because we do our job too well. They come in for confidence and doesn't, and they get it, boom, quick. Okay, okay, now you go play group sports. I'm like, what do you mean already? Why are you leaving? He's barely starting, getting in the groove and doing everything well. Well, I think you really see the confidence that he has in him. You guys did a great job. Right? See you guys later. High five. Like, oh, but it's one of those things that comes with a business. So we do our job well. I mean that either they stay long or they quit fast because we did what we said we were gonna do. It's a group effort. The parents got to bring them, and we're to for us to do our job and step back and let us do our work.
Yeah.
Because the thing is to support the family, support the parents. Whatever they instill in them at home, we do it here as well. Sometimes they have to hear from somebody else and the parents, and it's really funny because I'll teach my son something, and he's like, "Okay, dad, whatever." My instructor from Houston or Korea teach him something. Oh my God, dad, he taught me this. I'm like, yeah, but that's yeah, okay, you're fine. Good job.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you got something to that as well when you were signing basketball.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing that I think in life we have to smile. We have to. There's times where you go places and everybody's just so down. They don't look at people. They don't say hi, nothing. I'm like, wow, what happened to this world? And we hear, "Hey, how you doing? It's good to see you." You wanna be the light when you walk in the room. You want people to come attract to you, not the other way around. So when I walk in public and there was a time when I wouldn't even say hi to nobody because everybody was just so dull and so dark. Now, however, "How you doing? It's good to see you guys." And they're like, look at me like, "What are you, crazy? You're talking to me? You're saying hi to me?" Like, "Yeah, open the door for men, women, and children. Here we go, not just women." The guy's like, "What do you do? Open the door for me?" "Because we're in the same world together. We're all the same struggles. We put on the pants the same way, and we're here together. So together we become better and we try to level in a little more and just live better." I think that's my biggest thing that I want people to know. Have a great community in Brownsville because we're in Brownsville or anywhere, all my friends as well. But we want people to become more respectful of each other, be more courteous to each other. "Hey, how you doing? Good to see you." Something, in that aspect. Without thinking, "Oh, he's hitting on me," or no, no, just, "Hey, hey, good seeing you, bye." Let walk on. It just I miss that world. I really do because I was raised that way with my parents behind the grocery store, and
And
it's hard to get it.
and it is something that's needed, definitely. Um, we were in a very as a world, are in a very dark world, right? And it does take a special someone to take initiative and to give that love to somebody that they don't even know that they're needing it, they're seeking it, but just a simple gesture like that can just start changing the mindset of that person that's in a dark place at that time. And hey, well, maybe there are good people out there, and there are a lot of good people out there, but I just think that that we went through some as a world, it was some tough times, and we gotta what can we do to be strong enough to come out of that? And I think it's already been a few years, and we should be able to be in a in a fun, social, peaceful environment. It's what we make of it, right? It's what we make of it. So I like that. I like that mentorship. What's one lesson every student takes with them from Kuksu One, whether they stay one season or 10 years?
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. I'm like, "Oh, what do they take away from here?" Fun, loving environment, where people care for each other and help each other. A lot of people come in sometimes and they're very scared of this. Kids come in, they're crying. "I don't want to do it." I'm like, "Just come on in and try." There's no contact. Safety is key. So we together we help each other get better and show that bond that we're all, like I said earlier, we're in all this world together. We're all in here together, helping each other out. We have to learn from each other. We have to help each other. We have to push each other to become better. As a team, I think they'll get that sense of family when they come in, and hopefully they'll go outside as well with their own family and their own friends and stuff. That I want people to be more empathetic with one another because everybody's going through something. Nobody knows what they're going through, so be more patient with each other. I think patience. I bow with patience is one of those things that I really really work on because you don't know what the next person is going through. So when they come into our school, they learn to be more patient, more giving, more empathetic to each other because we're here in the short life is short. We're here a very short time, and when we're here, we gotta try to make a difference to make somebody feel better. You give, somebody, them what they need, and you get it back tenfold. This is the way the world works. So, you treat people well, and I think we're here to get a family environment with an instructor who is very very loving and very respectful to them because I play with them when they come in. Well, I don't play with them, but like that way, they kind of like playing giggling, because we always salute when we bow in, and I'm like, and every time I say, "Hey, how you doing?" I salute lower than they do, but I do it for example. I don't have to salute you guys, and you're older, you salute down in the Korean culture and in life in general. Our grandparents, we go to them, "How you doing?" You don't they don't come to us. Same thing, in what we do. And I was bowing. I'm like, Why are we not bowing? We have to show that respect." And, our thing is head to heart. So when we bow, we go 90-degree angle. Our head goes to our heart here and makes us a better person as well. The more bowing you do, the more humble you get. And that's one of the best things that martial arts teaches. Is not worshiping, bowing somebody. It's humbling yourself that you know nothing sometimes, and we have a lot to learn. That's what it's.
Well, I'm learning. I'm learning. Now, you spoke about it being a family environment, right? Right now, how do you involve parents in their child's martial arts journey, and what impact does that have beyond the mats? I know you have family programs. You want to touch base a little bit about that?
Oh my god, I have we all have parents, well, most parents are I don't have a lot of parents like I used to in the family classes because they all getting higher ranks, and some of the parents are coming in, "Oh, I'm too old." Brownsville one of those things, "I'm too old." You're 28 years old, what do you mean you're too old? You can't do it, you know? It's one of those mentality things. "Well, I gotta get in shape before I get into there." Like, "No, you don't." But anyway, so last week we had our families come in to train with their kids. And you should have seen this. The parents were holding the target, you guys kicking, 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 and everybody seemed to improve tenfold. I'm like, I go, parents, are you seeing this? They're kicking a lot harder with you guys, trying to make sure you guys see them. Because sometimes they're on the phone looking down, and the kids tell me, well, my parents don't see me, they're always on their phone. I'm like, okay. We brought the parents in, and one day when they come in, no, no, come in, come in. Everybody comes in today. We're gonna hold targets for our kids. And everybody was kicking harder. Their confidence was higher. Their chin was better. Oh, it was amazing to see the 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 excitement the kids had because their parents were holding the targets for them. And I wish more people would do that and enjoy class because of the same reason. And then I tell the parents, I go, "You are your kid's biggest superhero. Not Batman, not Superman, not me. You guys are their superhero. They look up to you." And I put a quote the other day, I put it, on Instagram or something. I'm like, "There's times were so hard for me that I wanted to quit." And I had a picture of my son behind me. Then I realized who was looking. He's watching me, and he's watching me, he's learning. So, I think that's what I want from our parents to train their children more and be more active with them, make me and we're never too tired. Even when you're tired, you're never too tired. You gotta work, you know what, 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it goes a long way with your children. So, it starts from the house, and it starts with the family. We're just here to support our families, and that you guys, our parents are the superheroes. They're the ones who matter the most to the kids, and it's great to see. Man, I was in tears. I still wanna get teary-eyed when I seen the kids do well.
Well, yeah, I mean, just being able to see their parents appreciate what they're doing, all the hard work that they put, I'm pretty sure was very rewarding.
Some of the parents were kicking too, and they're like, "Man, this is hard." I'm like, "Yes, exactly. These aren't hard. They're not here. They seem, they're working hard." And sometimes the parents do this, like, "No, no, 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 don't do this. Don't just sit down and let them do their thing," because now they know what it feels like to be in there and doing what they're doing because it's not easy. And these kids they're very persistent, and they're going harder, and they're learning. Even if they're not gonna go to the Olympics, they're learning life skills, and they're gonna be strong individuals, and it's gonna be amazing when they get old. They go to college and have their own families, and then we start changing those patterns,
What would you say to a parent who's unsure if martial arts is the right path for their child, but if they know that their child needs structure, confidence, and community?
Take a free class. Come on in. Nothing to it but to do it. Bring them in. There's, you can't know something if you don't try. Come on in, try a class, try a free class, try a couple classes, try different schools, try different. Doesn't have to be my school. Try a school that is right for you. Sometimes I'm not right for you, and the other person's not right for you either. So then go what you're looking for, and then come back. If you come back, then we're the right ones. If you're not, but go try different schools, try different classes, see what's for your child, see what has the best, what you need. Because everybody's got different things. I do a certain way, people do different ways. I think my way works better for me and for some parents. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but the best thing is to do try a class, any class, try every school in Brownsville, and then you'll see. And if it's, what, I don't like any of them, then you tried and it wasn't for you because we're not for everybody. Because it does take work, it does take patience, and it's. But we do get the job done. I think every martial arts school is a very good school in Brownsville. Area school is good. Just we gotta just take time and do it. And most of the time, people don't make time. I have to do this. No, you don't have to. You get to. You get to take your son. You get to see your son. You get to take the. We get to. We don't have to, and that's a big part of it. That's how you gotta see the perspective we teach. We get to do things for our kids and with our kids. We don't have to do anything. So the best thing in life is you get to do it. I get to go to work because I have a job. I get to go to my home with my kids because I have kids. It's just I think the perspective everybody changes that a little bit more than I have to go to church or I have to go to work. No, no, no. People who want to be in your shoes, who see you and kind of like, oh my God, I wish I was there. You're inspiring somebody. That's what you got to take.
You all getting into experience, right? That was one of the things that I tried to give you all a an opportunity. We're trying things out, right? So Kuksuwan was recently y'all recently joined us at our family night community event, right? What did you witness in the kids, the energy, the families that made you believe in our mission even more? I mean, just a little bit of text of feedback. The kids loved it, right? The demonstrations that y'all were able to demonstrate. The kids were actually hands on and were able to participate in some of the real martial arts stuff that you all do at the academy. And they had a lot of they had a blast, right? We were able to capture some photos and videos of them getting to experience. Sometimes it might be a little bit harder for them to maybe walk in the door, right? So that's why I was like, well, maybe if we put everybody together, right, if we can give them, and y'all did a great job. I mean, you brought your tent, you brought some equipment, some supplies, and the kids were going at it there, right? So they were able to be hands on. They were able to take their curiosity into an actual experience.
Mhm.
And what's kind of I guess I'm just looking for feedback, right? What did you all see out there?
Absolutely. The event was a great event. It was an incredible event. I love seeing the people coming together, the people bonding with one another, kids smiling, having a great time in a great positive environment. That's the key is great positive environment with positive people, with such a great mission statement that we want them to do the best they can in life, through basketball, through unity, through team, through the group sports, and it was an amazing event you're hosting, and I hope more people show up to those events, and I hope more vendors go in there and make it bigger and better every time you have them. I think it's really worthwhile, worth key to do because our like the old saying goes, our kids are our future, and it's true. You guys are doing a great job in the community, and we got to stick together and get it done.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting, leaders. A lot of people consider themselves leaders, and you are a leader in your industry. I reached out to you and I'm like, hey man, like, this is what we have going on in Street for the Kids, the community. And do you want to lead your industry? You're like, yeah, go for it. You are a man of action, right? You could have just said, well, yeah, I'm a leader and we lead our academy here in Brownsville. But you're like, no, yeah, like we'll be the one and only karate martial arts academy. And you took the initiative, right? And that's what we're teaching kids too. Like, we want to be able to instill leadership skills and just try to provide an opportunity for you all, right? Did everything work out like we wanted to? Uh, I think we were able to accomplish the mission a little bit. Y'all did a great job thinking outside the box and, "Hey, let's do this, let's set up this, and we'll have these activities for the kids," and that was perfect, right? I spoke to, one of your instructors that also was out there and, didn't hesitate whatsoever, very confident, right? And, yeah, I said, "Here, we'll do that." Well, yeah, we'll do that. You all feel comfortable? Everything I asked, "Do y'all feel comfortable doing?" was a yes, 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 we feel comfortable, right? So it just goes back to you do preach and you do act upon a real leadership academy, right? And being confident and being disciplined and so on. So that was just part of the mission that we wanted to see. And let's see if it gives you all an opportunity to come across new people, new kids that because you have two academies, right? You have an academy on West Alton Glore and East Alton Glore. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, yes, our original, academy, we're here in, East Altsville, that's where I'm at right now, we're here for summer programs. Um, we've been here in this location 17 years here on East Altsville. This is one of the or these are our headquarters, and the West Altsville is we're next to Simple Simon Pizza. We opened a year and a half ago, and, it's a different process than it is this one, but it's getting there. This summer is starting to pick up a little bit more as well. I say I opened last year. My mom passed away real quick. So it was one of those things. Transition, timing is everything. But we're resilient. We keep going forward, and we do got to do. And the school's running well. We have different people from that. So I wanted to. I kid with all my students. I'm like, you know what? I want to be like a Stripes. I want to be in every corner. Why not us? Why not don't they come to us? We're a great school. We work well with people, and we have an excellent product that we teach, was the art itself. but more ourselves. We sell ourselves, our personalities, and our life skills, and our history of who we are and who we have become, and share that. We're mentors, and we're psychologists, and we're friends, and we're everything. People come in and they talk to us, and they go out better, and we did our job well. You know. Real cool. I think when you text me about doing the event, or when you messaged me, I was out of town. I think I was doing a seminar, or I was on vacation. I was doing something, like, as soon as I saw, "Yeah, yeah, I'll do it." I didn't even look at it. "Yeah, I'll just go, and we'll go do that, and then I'll worry about it later when we're there." So, I consider myself a yes man. Let's go do it. Let's go forward, in everything we do, because you could always control the outcome at the end of the day. But, so it's, we love what we do, and we wanna help out in which way we can.
Well, that's good. Well, we thank you all from InCity HotSpots, and it was a great blessing for the kids. So they had a lot of fun. So thank you all. The Let's talk about legacy a little bit. What kind of legacy are you hoping Kuksuwan leaves in this community?
Other than it being a great martial art that we teach, is very traditional, is very, it's one of those martial arts that it holds a lot of the tradition. It's not like not like this, like the UFC fighting. It's not the mixed martial arts. It's not the. It still holds like core value in respect. And it's just a very great martial art. And quick note on that, our instructor, it's our grandmaster Kuksu One, his title is Kuksanen. He says it's a good, strong, and good heart person. Runs our schools, and that's what we try to be, as a martial art. And the people ask, "Well, how come you guys are on the UFC? How come you guys don't train and then do that?" I go, and the grandmaster says, "No, we're not about fighting. We're not about hurting. We're not about competing with anybody else. We're about helping, healing, teaching, and the whole value of family." And that's what it is. A good, strong martial art that we teach, and that we want to be seen that way, because we see our structure in our mission statement. At the end of the day, we become master level. We start healing people through acupuncture, through acupressure, and all this and all that. We're not about hurting anybody. We try to help people. The lot older we get, the more we need and stuff like that. It's one of those things that I think, in the end of the day, Kuk One is a very beautiful martial art, a very effective martial art, but at the end of it's more of a trying to make each other better. I think that's legacy is together we get better and become a better society from it, and teach everybody who wants to learn, and hopefully they'll take it with them in lifelong, and learn from it, and hopefully do the kids will do it as well. I'm already teaching people's grandkids when I started. I'm like, "Oh my god, I even hear your grandkids coming out. They're getting old, but they're coming back, which is great. We did something well for them, and they come in. I learned a lot. I love it. I got a lot of discipline from it. I got a lot of respect. So they bring them back, and that's the biggest thing that I could take, that people come back and see us again with their loved ones, and if they're respected with their loved ones, we're doing something right.
Oh, amazing, Raul. Appreciate your time. Before you go, I learned a lot today, right? But before you go, we like to do a little speed round with our guests. I'm just gonna ask you: rain or sunshine,
Rain,
coffee or tea,
coffee,
chocolate or vanilla,
vanilla,
a phone call or text,
text.
comedy or drama,
I'm a romantic comedy kind of guy.
early bird or night owl,
Early bird,
and summer or winter.
winner.
Winter. Awesome. Raul, I appreciate you for spending a little bit of time and educating not only myself, but educating the community. And if anyone has any questions, you're all over the place, right? You have your website. They can find you at Kupsu Brownsville. You have your social media pages. You have your Facebook, your Instagram. What else do you have?
We have a couple of Instagrams, still Facebooks, and that's about it. Our phone numbers are everywhere, and that we're having a great summer special, 8-week program, free uniform for only 149. Try us out for a summer, and I'm sure you'll stay with us for lifelong as well. But let's come on in, and that's what we're offering right now. If anybody's interested in doing that, find a location near you, and hopefully there will be more locations around you eventually, and be able to cater to everybody, because Brownsville's huge. I have people come from way southmost by the high school, and they come in this way. I'm like, oh, that's a commute itself. We got to start expanding a little more to help everybody out to help. I think that's our next goal.
That's amazing. Raul, thank you for your time. I know you're a busy guy. You have your day planned ahead of you as well. But thank you sincerely from the bottom of our heart for spending a little bit and answering our questions that we had. And uh, we can always do a round two, a part two later on down the road, and have some. I still have some more questions I would like to ask, right? But we'll do it one at a time, one at a time. But yeah, if you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and if you reach out to Raul. And until next time.
This is my first podcast, and I really enjoyed it. I thank you very much for the invite as well.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you for you're very well spoken, a great communicator, and you speak from the heart. So that's our mission too, right? We want to come across people that just want that have a good heart, like you said, that have a good heart and want to share their mission and see we can tie their mission with our mission and continue going, right? That's all part of building community. I'm learning as well. I'm an expert in certain areas as far as education, conditioning, physical strength training, conditioning, youth, basketball, sports, coaching basketball, referee, right? But I'm learning the business world of it, right? And I know communication is a big part of it. I know networking is another big part of it, and I love learning these things that are in my next chapter in my life. And speaking to people like you with experience, um, thank you. And I learned a lot from the business mindset and, personal too. There's a lot of stuff that I can take away personal into my personal life. And we just want to continue growing and building community.
Hopefully, we inspire people and to do what they dream to do. Be an inspiration to other people. Obviously, leaders are they inspire people, so we got to inspire people to do what they can and to the community together, and they'll be great leaders as well. So we got to do our jobs, our part. I always say our starts with us. You want to change the world, it starts with us. We take the first step forward. We can't wait anybody else to do it. So that we got to take the initiative to do that. So, and you're doing that, which is great. I appreciate that for you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. We'll see you soon. I'll probably see you at the gym. Now our school's out too.
My workout today, I did upper chest and shoulders today. I'll probably go back to round two.
Awesome. So yeah, 2 a days. You're launching 2 a days. Must be nice. Must be nice to get in some 2 days. Some of us can barely get in that one time, but that's good. It's how you manage, right? Your schedule. It's all you manage. A lot of times we say we don't have time, but yes, we do have time, which is that we have to structure our schedule, be disciplined with our schedule, and those things. I think health is one of the most important things that we get sick, we can't do anything. We get hurt, we can't do anything. So
Yeah, we can't help ourselves.
we need to have that in our mindset at always that exercise and health and how important it is. And so thank you for sharing that. I'll see you at the gym pretty soon, right?
I think we're very blessed. You and I both.
Yes, we are. We
Well,
are,
that's right.
and that's the goal, right? How many more people can can we impact, right? Just we're just a tool, we're just one person, and just the tools and skills that God has given us, and how can we continue being of influence, of impact to the next generation. So I appreciate your time, brother. From the bottom of our hearts. Have a great day.
You too. I could talk all day. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're good.
I appreciate it, and God bless. And we'll see you soon.
Okay, I'm gonna if it's okay, salute what head to heart.
Af-
That's to heart.
af-
Humble. Keep it.
The more humble we become.
All right. I like that. I learned something new today. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
God bless. See you.
Have
Bye.
bye bye.